Just remember, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of You and Me and Multiple Sclerosis. My name is Pam and I've been living with multiple sclerosis for 38 years. And this new year just started right out with a new adventure for me. And I want to just talk a little bit today without all of the usual research and stuff that I do. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the week that I had the beginning of 2023. On January 1st, we attended church like we always do. And then we went off the next day to visit my friends in another city, which is a tradition that we've had for a number of years now. She and I both have our birthdays in January, and so we like to get together and just enjoy each other's company, exchange some gifts, and just be grateful that we have each other in our lives. Well, okay, so the first couple of days went really well. And we were having a really nice time. And then I think it must have been Tuesday night. I was very tired. By about 6 o'clock, I just had to go to bed. I was so tired. And I just slept like nobody's business. And next thing you know, I started to be very unsteady on my feet. I wasn't able to count on the leg strength that I needed to walk a lot. And this just kind of kept getting worse until I couldn't walk at all. By Thursday, I really couldn't walk at all. I wasn't with not even with my husband's help, not even with my cane, I could not support my weight on my legs. They just wouldn't support my weight. So a lot of sleeping. And then it did get better. Seems like all by itself. I know. Well, my friend's husband was very worried. He thought, oh, maybe we should call an ambulance. Maybe we should get you to the ER. And I was saying, no. I know what this is. It's multiple sclerosis. You're not going to be able to do anything about it there. There's no point in rushing off to the hospital. Now, at this time, I had not heard anything of what was going on back with all the folks I'd left behind in my church family because I had not really been checking my phone. But turns out that that day at church, apparently, and somehow an exposure happened and it spread like wildfire through the church. There were about 20 people by the time all was said and done who ended up sick with one thing or another. Now, while a number of them did test positive for COVID-19, there were many others who did not. They were sick with something else. They either had a bad head cold or they had some kind of flu or whatever. So it was a whole range of things people had developed from just this one exposure. And not knowing any of that, of course, I had no reason to connect what was happening to me with anything like that. And the other part was that was the only symptom I had. Of course, it was a big one, but the inability to use my muscles to any great degree, to support my weight, to walk, to stand, that was the only symptom I had. I didn't have a sore throat. I didn't have a cough. I didn't have a runny nose. I had no reason to know that there was anything else going on. But by the time I started hearing about other people being sick and whatnot, I realized, oh, well, that probably is indeed what happened. This is not the first time that some kind of infectious disease has temporarily worsened my multiple sclerosis symptoms, although I would say it's probably the most dramatic. And so here I am. This is, let's see, as of today, this is Monday the 9th. And if I was exposed on the 1st, so that's how long it's been. And I'm just now dealing with the symptoms of a cold, and not even a particularly severe cold, It's a little runny nose. My voice is a little funny. You can probably tell. The main thing that I'm still dealing with, though, I'm now able to walk and stand and all that. I just don't have much stamina. I've been sleeping more hours and just trying to take good care of myself, drinking liquids, etc. Always a good strategy whenever you don't feel well. And I don't really know that I have a lot of profound wisdom here to share, but I did want to say one thing that I think is important, and I know this to be true. You can be a pretty healthy person, and this is regardless of whether or not you have MS. But just any given person is going to have a bunch of lifestyle factors and comorbidities, whatever you want to call them. And they all play a role in how you live your life and how affected you are by an exposure to some kind of infectious agent. You may, like my husband, just sail right through it. He hasn't had any symptoms of anything at all. And at this point, it's not likely that he will. He neither caught it in the first wave of being there on the Sunday at church, nor did he catch it from me. But a chain is only as good as its weakest link, right? And so for me, even though I'm a very healthy person, ordinarily, when I was up at the clinical trial this past summer, the doctor, when examining me and questioning me about my lifestyle, said to me, other than your multiple sclerosis, you're actually very healthy. And I said, I know, that's very true. It's kind of odd for me to say that or to think it, because a lot of people, once they know I have MS, they assume that I'm some kind of invalid with this severe disease and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I bounce back from almost everything really quickly, and I often don't even get sick because my weight is healthy, my diet is good, I avoid things like smoking and things that would possibly make a chance encounter with something like a cold or a flu more dangerous or more likely to be infectious at least. I often will pass right through those and not have to worry about it. But something happened this time. I don't know what it was. I probably never will. But it was a good reminder for me that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So the links in my chain are things like my good diet, my good weight, my general health, etc. I mean, I have a very strong chain by and large, but I have this one weak link, and it's called multiple sclerosis. And so when I was exposed to whatever it was, where did it hit me? It settled right in my nervous system, because that was the weak spot. And I guess that's just something to recognize. I need to be thinking about how I will be preparing for that in the future, because I don't really want to run into this again. My friends were really gracious and kind and did everything they could to make things more comfortable for me, but I felt very bad about inflicting this on them. Plus, I wasn't the tidiest house guest, let's put it that way. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. But they didn't mind. They really are wonderful people. And that's why we're friends for so many years. While many people have said, well, at least you still can walk. And I don't take that for granted. I will certainly say that. But when I see things like what's happened to me, I realize that there's a pretty fine line between being able to walk and not being able to walk. That wasn't a real severe infection. I don't even know what it was all about, because it's already passing away and it's not really all that big of a deal. But boy, does it take it out of my nervous system. So that's just something I'm going to have to live with, I know. And it's just a reminder. Maybe it was good to start out 2023 with a reminder. And another reminder, of course, that my friends are wonderful people. And I'm certainly glad that I have good friends like them in my life. But as far as how this relates to you, you might think about that. What is your chain made out of? Do you have, in addition to your multiple sclerosis, do you have some other factors that you haven't perhaps spent as much time on or haven't worked towards improving to the extent that it would make you less vulnerable to things that happen? And now that I've had what happened to me, I can't even promise you that if you eat all your vegetables and don't smoke cigarettes, you'll never have the troubles that I just had. I think it does make things better overall, though. Your general prognosis is going to be better. Now, this rambled all over the place. I'm sorry, but it's basically, I don't really have a lot of stamina right now. I'm really kind of, I should probably be in bed. But I really wanted to make this while it was still kind of going on, so I could just give you an idea of what's been going on with me and what I'm thinking about. And I don't know if my thoughts are as clear as they need to be, but as I end all my videos, asking you to take good care of yourself. That's not just a catchy little saying. That's something I seriously believe in. We need to take good care of ourselves. And if we're not looking after our daily health and our daily habits of self-care, I don't know who's going to do it. So I really do want you to think about things like, what am I eating? How much fluid am I taking in? What substances am I avoiding? What bad habits am I trying to curb? All of those things. The more you can improve your general health, the quicker that you will bounce back from the kinds of things that are likely to happen to you, as happened to me. So, I will remind you once again, take very good care of yourself. I'll be back after I get feeling better, and I'll see you again in my next video.